So Ian, here we are at the Brewery Field, a scorching hot day. The picture's got lines back on it. It's looking absolutely like Wembley, and we should know because we were there fairly recently. The fixtures are out, everything's going towards the new season. How excited are we?
It's another truly exciting time, isn't it? You know, we always gear ourselves up for pre-season. We've had a busy off-season, as we always do. Player contracts getting sorted out, the pre-season schedule itself, and everything else that comes with that. Trying to fit holidays in, so we don't get many of them through the year, as you know. Really buzz around the Brewery Field again. As you say, the pitch is decent and looking fantastic, ready to go.
Yeah, last season was a success on so many levels, wasn't it? We were so close to the playoffs again. We ended the season with that FA Trophy final, which was so memorable. What are the objectives moving forward on the pitch now?
You're right, unbelievable season, and I was sat here this time last year and could have predicted how far we would have gone in the FA Trophy. Absolutely not. The achievement there is still lingering with us now, and we're of course looking to build on that for next season. The objectives are clear as ever for us. It's get into playoffs, push for promotion, and have some good cup runs again.
And the optimism must be high that we can achieve those things, because the management team just feel like a really good fit for Spennymoor Town at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this is the first full season for Graham and Ian there, and Dan and all the management team that are involved with the first team there. They've done some really good things, and they've not only had that success on the pitch, in 1 point away from the playoffs again, but the Wembley run, everything in the trophy. It's part of the club culture that we've got. They fit really well into the ethos of the club. Great guys, lovely people, great family men, and it fits with what we are as a club. And I think that is part of the success story. Yeah, that is important, isn't it? When you come to a football club like Spennymoor Town, that connection between the club and its community, the club and its fans is so important, and they really embody that, don't they? That's right. And if you look, we're a part-time club at this level. And you can see that as we start doing the player negotiations, that a big part of it is not just what we do with the players on the field, but what comes off the field as well. So, these lads are playing part-time football. In some cases, we've helped them find jobs in the region where they've got the employment and the football going together. And that's part and parcel of everything. So that's the club we're trying to be. We've spoke about part-time before and how over the years it's benefited us. So we've got the likes of Glenn Taylor, who would never have had if had he wanted to be go full-time and everything else, and we've lost players equally because they've wanted to go full-time. But then in success is a success story. Look at what we've done with the likes of Isaac Fletcher and Rhys Staunton, moving on to league clubs. We're now that bed for players' development moving into the league, and it's a fantastic place to be.
And it is about that as we move forward, using that imagination, that innovation, isn't it, to make sure we get the most out of what we have, but also make sure this football club is on a sound financial footing moving forward.
And that's absolutely the case. So, we can set objectives all we want for Spike and the team, but we as a board have got to make sure that that's financed properly. And that's been, my whole job role since I came in 3 years ago, is to create that sustainable club that can stand on its feet for the future and forever, that isn't relying on Brad all of the time. Now, Brad's been fantastic through the years, and we know his 16-year tenure has been fantastic up to this point of, all of the investment he's done. He's written off hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of ground improvements, of getting us to where we are at this level, and it's truly fantastic. But what that isn't is sustainability, and the future of the club is now looking at what income we can bring in. And that's not always on ticket income. So, everybody thinks, raise the gates, we'll get another couple of hundred in the ground. In reality, ticket income is, it's barely 13% of what we do overall as a club. The vast majority of income comes from other streams. It's sponsorship, and the partnership we have with Procure Smart raises about 43% of our annual income a year. So, for us, on and off the field, it's about how we maximise that income, but then how we spend it properly as well. And that's another really interesting part of running this club as its managing director, is when we know what the income packet is coming in, what do we do with that? Now, I would always rather give that to Graham and say, Graham, go and find some fantastic players and let's push for promotion, let's achieve the objectives, than waste it on things that don't generate. And that's why I think over the last couple of years we've seen that transition of what we're doing operationally in and around the ground, and fans will have noticed that. Because we're reseating where that money goes and spending it the best way possible.
Whilst also always trying to move forward and improve, what kind of differences or changes could the fans be noticing in the 25-26 season?
Yeah, and you've hit on it there. It is that difference to what we do day to day at the Brewery Field. And I sat here last year and we spoke at length about the modular clubhouse. it was a temporary building put in, almost 7 years now, and temporary is temporary, and that isn't going to last forever. But what a lot of people don't realise is the high rental cost of that. Yeah. So those modulars over there cost £200 a day, and it's £200 a day that I'd rather have in the bank to give to Graham or to spend on community projects or all that sort of stuff. And then we talked a bit about the planning issue and everything else last year as well, and those things are still there. So ultimately what we're doing now is looking for what comes next in that area of the ground, and we'll find that. So what fans will notice straight away this season is, yes, the modular's still there. We're operating it as a clubhouse on a match day primarily now, rather than open 7 days a week. You look at the hospitality trade, it's not where it used to be when we first got that clubhouse in, and I think it's important that we've moved the business model on. So we've focused on what does generate the cash, what does put back into the club's model, and that's match day. Now what we've done is we've closed the upstairs now, so we're not using the players' lounge as was, right. Simply because on paper, high cost in running that. You're doubling your staff, you're putting twice as many people on, the stock's different, all that sort of stuff. We're now only going to be running that ground floor clubhouse itself, and I think whatever comes next will just be a one story. But what we've always done at the Moors is look to enhance the fan experience. So even though things are different, what I would say is they're not different bad, they're just different. So we've invested quite heavily this year in the fan zones, and fans will notice that. There's still some works ongoing during the pre-season for that, so we'll be completely changing the way the fan zone works, full range of beer going in down there, the club shop units now all singing, all dancing. And there'll be various different things that fans will notice around the ground that we have improved and that we've changed.
I mean, that's key, isn't it? We've talked about this before, more than just a football. It's more than just what we see on the Saturday, isn't it? There's so many things surround that football match that it's important that we keep on enhancing those.
Of course it is, and that's what we're about. I say it time and time again. You're probably sick of the soundbite, but it's more than just about the 11 lads kicking the ball around every other Saturday at the home ground. It's that holistic thing of what is going on at this club. What are we here to do? And we're here as a central community asset. And we do so much out in the community. We're doubling down this year on our community impact. So I've talked at great length before about the things we do through the week here. The community meals, where we're delivering to some of the most vulnerable people in the town and around the town now. Over 100 dinners going out every week. Tuesday to Thursday. It's a fantastic project. It's just one of the things we're doing. We've got disability football now. We're supporting 2 walking football teams. We're in schools doing education and coaching for kids. So there's so much going on in around the club, and the importance is that we run all of those things sustainably. We're not going to Brad and saying, Brad, please, we need some more money. And as I said before, it's the first time we've set a balanced budget where our income is our income this year, and our spending will be the same as the income, and that's what we've got to achieve. We've got to maximise the income by sponsorship and by partnerships and everything else that goes with it, and spend it sensibly in a good way that makes an impact. Now you look at some other clubs at our level in and around us geographically who are really struggling at the minute, and Spennymoor Town is one of those that isn't struggling, and that's because of the unique commercial way that we run and the way that we're managed on a day-to-day basis. We've got full-time staff here driving the club on a commercial level, driving the club financially to make sure that we're not reliant on one man. And yes, Brad's done some fantastic things over the years in getting us to where we'll be, but his legacy piece now is to create this club that will last forever and ever and ever and stand on its own 2 feet.
And the breadth of this football club means that people who are coming through the turnstiles, we know at the core of that they want to be cheering goals, they want to be able to see a team that they're proud of. Yeah. But the bigger picture is that we want to provide a football club that they can be proud of as well.
Absolutely, absolutely right, and that's what it is. It's the community pride of this place and everything that we're doing. The football, massively important. It's really important that I've set the right budget, and that Graham has the facility he needs to achieve the objectives on the field this season. But that in itself drives everything else. You saw the buzz around the Wembley trip. Over 3,000 people joining us in the National Stadium, seeing the wonderful things that this club can create, and that's just the first step. Now moving forward, it's what comes next on and off the field, and it's a great time to be part of Spennymoor Town.
What about the ladies' side? It's an area that we're continuing to focus on, continuing to invest in.
Yeah.
There has been some change though this summer.
Yeah, the ladies has been a massive development piece over the last few years. When you look at the setup now, even 3 years ago, there's now there's our ladies' first team, but there's a reserves team, there's development. We're setting off an under-18s team as part of the youth structure. And of course we've had a change in management, so we've appointed Stephen Durant, who's a very well experienced ladies team manager, coming on board to hopefully take us to the next level on the ladies side of things as well. It's a really important investment part of the club, again backed really well by our sponsors, and we're one of the only clubs, probably the only club at this tier of ladies football who offers a season ticket. So we've got the ladies playing at the Brewery Field where they should be, at a fantastic venue, and we're offering season tickets for ladies fans as well.
And it's going to be a great time to build that excitement, isn't it, on the back of hopefully what we expect and hope will be a successful Euros for the Lionesses. Hopefully that enthusiasm can spill over and we see even more people coming here to support our ladies team.
Yeah, absolutely. I take myself back to when I first come to support the Moors. As a kid, when my dad used to bring me down, and you'd be amazed at crowds of 200 or 300 in here for a game in the Northern League. Now that our ladies are doing more than that, we're averaging 200 or 300. We're getting over 400 sometimes. It's fantastic to see. There's a great family atmosphere when you come down on a Sunday and watch the women. Completely different dynamic to a men's match day, but fantastic and all the same. And I'm really proud to see that development at the Brewery Field for the ladies. Yeah,
it's all really bubbling up quite nicely, isn't it? The friendlies are going to be coming thick and fast now. The season will be here before we know it, and the excitement is just the same every year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we've done some good recruitment again. We've kept the spine of a fantastic squad from last season. We've made some really good signings already. We'll see some fantastic trialists in the pre-season. Can't wait to invite everybody back down to the Brewery Field, see the changes, see the developments, and get stuck into what could be another fantastic season for us.